Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 14 of the We Gonna Win the League podcast. We're going to go through game week 13 this week. The weather's not very good, as we know, but it's a great day for fishing. So, that being said, we're going to start off with some juicy action from the weekend. First things first, shout out to the 15 followers we've got now, guys. 15.
Yeah.
Apologies, obviously. Do you want to? Which one of you wants to shout out this week?
I want to give a shout out to John from work. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Hopefully we can get you in on one of this episode. So, and also Chris. You never forget Chris. He's tuning in every single week, and we need him.
He's number one.
Chris is the best lad. Yeah, Chris is the best lad.
If anybody wants to knock Chris off his perch, get sharing.
And Chris is the midnight fan too, so it is all right at some extent.
He's a fan of the midnight. He sleeps in the day and wakes up at night. So let's move on to Arsenal versus Chelsea this weekend. Obviously, I don't want to speak too much because I want to get your opinions and I've got to host it, but there's so much I want to say, but I'm going to try ask the questions first. It was a top of the table clash. It's obviously ended 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea made Arsenal look schoolboy in parts of that game. Arsenal struggled to break down Chelsea. Tom, do the honours. Tell us your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, so I think negatives was that we lost 2 points. So we didn't come away with the win. I thought that we were a little bit sort of lackluster. I think probably what showed in that was just the fact that we'd had 2 very difficult games on the trot. So we had 3 games in 1 week. Sort of arguably, first derby against Spurs, our main rival, we smashed them, and then Bayern Munich are sort of along with Arsenal are the best team in Europe, and we beat them. And then we played Chelsea. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but we beat them 3-1, so that was a pretty good score. And then we went against Chelsea, and I have to say that Chelsea played very well. I said last week that I think Chelsea are our main contender, sort of main person to beat. And it was also a bit disappointing because they went down to 10 men and we still didn't sort of find a chance. But it was interesting at the end, listening to Marino sort of speak, and it sort of made sense a little bit because he was saying that the reason why they were sort of passing the ball so much was because they were trying to sort of find a way in. But Chelsea were very, very good in defence. So the positives were that we drew and we're still top and we're 5 points clear of all the other teams. And I think Marino's goal was fantastic. I think we also could have gotten a last-minute goal. Gyökeres and Timber. I think Timber sort of, as the classic sort of end of the game, sort of everyone sort of goes up to try and score, but Gyökeres was in a better position and Timber sort of got in the way, and so Gyökeres couldn't score the header, which was a real shame because he came back from injury. So I think that's another real positive for us is that he's back on the bench, back on the sort of team playing, and I'm sure that he'll go striker next game against Brentford. So that's really, really good to see him back.
Are you really gonna drop Moreno for Gyökeres next game? Would you drop him?
I would have Gyökeres up front, yeah, because he's showing he's showing hunger. The way that he was sort of trying to sort of influence the game late on, to me, showed that he really wants to sort of show his presence and get a lot of goals. The other thing in general, in terms of just the refereeing, I thought that that he gave far too many cards out too easily.
Well said, by the way.
I mean, it's a derby game, and so it's going to be a more physical game than any other game that you play. And what you get when you slow the game down is it stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, and both teams can't really find their flow, and I think that affected both teams in quite a negative way. But apart from that, I think I got no issues with the refereeing, apart from the fact that he gave out far too many yellows. It's just silly, really.
I'm going to count how many yellow cards did Arsenal got yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow cards. And the first card came in 5 minutes after, and followed by 13 minutes, 27 minutes. So 3 yellow cards within 30 minutes of the game. Plus the Chelsea player got a yellow within 11 minutes too. It's a exciting game when it started. I think managed to catch it within 10 minutes into the game. Chelsea were on fire, man. Like, I swear to God. I felt like they looked like they were on steroids. Like, I don't know what the managers feed in the Chelsea players, because they couldn't stop running back and forth. They were just chasing Arsenal from end to end and non-stop.
The main reason for that is that they're young, then it's called youth. Yeah.
Even so, Tom, like, you know how big that pitches are. Like, you're constantly running for like non-stop. And I think what really stood out for me is how Chelsea's tactic was trying to compete Arsenal's tactic by pressing them more often. So every time the midfielders, Zubimendi, as they would get the ball, Saka, as soon as that feet lands on their feet, a Chelsea player would just go one-on-one with them, and which made it harder for them to execute and move freely. I think that was the key moment of Chelsea's game yesterday. Would you agree with that?
I think yes. For me, I don't think. Yes, Chelsea got your own squad, but when you look at the core of the team, that's in Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, James.
Enzo, incredible player, man.
Yeah, Enzo. I mean, Enzo was an engine, and he isn't young. I think he's about 29, isn't he? So, I just, before I wanted to ask you a question.
But what I mean was, the up fronts are all young, aren't they? That's what I think.
No,
they're also inexperienced as well.
Because they sprint, I mean, like, I mean, they were really quick, and you could see just the way that they could get from midfield up front was very quick sprinting.
I just want to pick up from where Tom left off for the yellow cards. I thought the referee had a good game, to be fair. I thought when you look at derby games, the one thing that happens to a lot of derby games is it kicks off because the referee doesn't gain control of the match. And Arsenal's discipline was really poor. If you look at the first 20 minutes, how anyone can say you give too many yellow cards would be out of the mind, because there's players jumping on top of players' backs, tackling from behind, pulling shirts. Arsenal are a very physical team, and normally they get away with it because obviously teams get scared when Arsenal turn up. I thought Chelsea started the game on the upper foot, and I think Arsenal were panicking to the point where they were yakking players down. And I thought if the referee didn't give yellow cards for some of those challenges, it could have turned out into a more fierce affair as derbies normally go. There was obviously an incident of Caicedo's red card. I personally think it was a red card. A lot of people said after the game that it wouldn't be, because it shouldn't have been, should I say, because you should referee the game in real time. And in real time, he was looking at the ball and he missed the ball, which then, I disagree with Devon on this one, so I'll get them to pinging them in. But when you slow down VAR, there is an argument to say, well, it will look worse than it is, because it is slowed down and the game isn't played slowed down. That's where VAR re-referees the game. But I personally thought it was a red card. Dan, I want to get your thoughts on this, because I know you disagree.
I mean, I really don't understand. I don't know what the exact rule for a red card. I know it looked like it did caught Moreno, but if you look at the replay in slow motion, you can see Caicedo was looking at the ball, and he already had his right foot out, aiming for the ball. And as soon as that split second he was to catch the ball, Moreno somehow managed to kick the ball out away, and obviously Casado couldn't stop his feet from hitting him on the leg, and he went down. So when you replay that, like in slow motion, it looked like he was going for his leg, which it was intentional. If you look at his eyesight, Casado was actually looking at the ball down. He aimed from the ball. It's just the way the VAR. I didn't like the way they replayed it, the way the angle. Sometimes they create this angle that make it look like it's more menacing than it is. And I've seen them time and time again, like they do it. Sometimes, I've seen Liverpool games that VAR would look at, and they change the angle so when the referee come look it up, it's just like, oh, maybe not. Just like the Odegaard handball against Liverpool, so it was something like that. But I really thought that VAR really wanted, the referee to see that the way he hit it. He didn't, they didn't replay it from the portrait mode, from the other side. They just caught him like it looked like. And after he got sent off, Moreno just walked away unharmed. So he played full on. So
well, my impression of that, my impression was that it was a red card. The reason why the red card, I think, was because it was studs on his ankle, and so whenever you have the studs go down on a. Yeah, but I don't think the shin pad actually covers all of the shin and the ankle and the foot, and so there are areas where the studs can go and cause more damage. I mean, yeah, we know that he got up and he walked away, but I think that's why that was a red card.
I mean, they should have analyzed the ball leaving his feet. If the ball was already away from his feet and he put in the tackle and hit him on the leg, yes, red card. But he didn't touch the ball, did he? If you look at the replay closely, the slow motion, he put his feet up to get the ball, and then Moreno kicked the ball after, and hit him on the leg.
The other thing I wanted to say about that as well is that if you look at Caicedo's position, he's actually facing his own goal when he actually goes to sort of do the tackle, and so it kind of seems like a pointless sort of tackle, and there's already his teammate, I think the one who scored, is like right behind Marino anyway, so there's no need for him to go and actually do that tackle, so it's a bit of a waste of a tackle anyway because he's looking towards his own goal and there's plenty of Chelsea players around him anyway.
Yeah.
Casado
getting sent off, I think that was the mentality of Chelsea's players. I think throughout the game, that was the mentality. Get the Arsenal players, get them down, hit them as soon as you can.
Yeah. Which is exactly. I mean, so I hear what you're saying, Craig, about the fact that you think that that if the ref doesn't do anything, well, then it might go into a bigger brawl sort of thing. But I think football nowadays just seems to be more of a ballet than like a physical sort of sport.
Yeah.
Like
I totally agree.
When I feel like as full grown men, they can just kick each other a little bit.
I totally agree, right?
Get injuries and pains is part of football, and I do think that we're getting into an era of football that sort of maybe beautiful because it's quicker and that sort of thing, but at the same time, I think it's losing a bit of the grit that you get from like the classic Man United era where like there's Keane and Neville and some of those tackles were like now if they were done now, then like every time it's a red card.
If that's your argument, then VAR wouldn't have sent Caicedo off first. So you kind of.
I know what you mean. Well, yeah, I mean,
Caicedo was only sent off because VAR got.
I've always said that VAR. I mean, it shouldn't really be there in the first place. But
I do think Arsenal.
Now that it is, I mean, like basically like it might as well actually have a function.
I do think Arsenal will play. I'm not saying Chelsea were perfect. I thought Chelsea were very good at playing Arsenal. What Arsenal do? Arsenal do go over a lot. They do play to the referee a lot. Saka's the worst one for it. And I just think Arsenal met the match. I'm not holding my hands up and saying Chelsea were perfect and Chelsea weren't disciplined, but Arsenal just, because they are the team with momentum, so they are going to get a few decisions going their way. It happens to every team that's leading the Premier League. It does. So nobody can deny that. It's happened to Liverpool last year. It's happened to Man City. It's happened to Manchester United, as we all know. But what I'm trying to say is Arsenal didn't like the fact that Chelsea kind of said, let's just play them at their own game. And Arsenal got even more frustrated. And then we're pulling players down because of that reason. Any referee would have struggled at that game. But I'm also not saying Chelsea were perfect either. I mean, it was one of those games.
They were far from perfect. Far from perfect. I mean, they all. Well, I mean, I honestly can't think back to the match and think of any time when Arsenal players were like really sort of making a massive drama out of things. But Chelsea, I mean, there were quite a few players that went down, and my God, they're like,
oh yeah.
I totally
agree. Like,
I totally think
that
was them playing their own game. I think that was just them playing Arsenal their own game.
Yeah.
That's what Arsenal are like. When you watch Arsenal,
Arsenal don't do that, do they? They don't do that.
Doing it. Gyökeres is doing it. Zubimendi's good for
it.
Saka
started to do it, yeah, but like no one else really.
I know what Tom was talking about. I know what Tom's talking about. It's after Casado got sent off. I think Kaloba got hit like a little pin in his eye, and he went down.
He was drama.
I find it really hilarious. He just went like, "Oh, my eye."
Can I just ask a question to you, Dan, about the Arsenal game? From an outsider, obviously from a rival supporter, is Arsenal's draw against Chelsea? I mean, Arsenal fans will say it's a good draw. Chelsea will say it's a good draw. Was it a warning sign about their depth and game management, or with the crack shit starting to show for Arsenal?
From that,
10 men, and
10 men, Tom.
It's a derby. It's going to be.
I've got a little bit fair on Arsenal because they are a strong team this season. It would have been a different story, I think, if they had Saliba on as centre back. I know he's injured, and if Gyökeres started, it might be a different game. But Martinelli on the left, he started. So I think tactically wise, I think Arteta went in there with full confidence, not knowing what Chelsea's tactics were, and they were just got caught off guard by Chelsea's players. I think what's his name again? Chelsea's manager. He that game reminds me of that particular game yesterday. It reminded me of a Liverpool side during Klopp's era. Like a high pace movement, going into players, just chase them up. I like to think that that Chelsea's that game yesterday is the new blueprint of how other team can deal with Arsenal's attack in the coming months, at the end of the season. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Brentford will look at that game. Look, listen, this is what Chelsea did against Arsenal. Maybe we can do something about it. If our players are fit enough, they can, man-on-man mark. I think the man-on-man marking on Arsenal players will get them a couple more draws, hopefully more defeat, hopefully a defeat sooner or later. I think Chelsea exposed Arteta's tactics yesterday. So I'm not sure if Arteta's going to change his ways or going to stick to what he's been doing. But if he does, I think they will get caught out again, just like that.
Can I ask you, Tom, just all jokes aside now and all banter aside, do you think it's a bit of an overreaction for people saying about Arsenal crack starting to show? They were made to look a bit schoolboyish on the pitch. Do you think it's just, as you say, just a derby, or was there nothing to be concerned about? Nothing to be concerned the fact that you went down to 10 men, that they went down to 10 men. Sorry.
I mean, it is disappointing to see us not being able to win that game, but then you have to evaluate things in context, don't you? So all teams, you have to look at the context and what games before and what games after and everything to do with that and players and injuries and all this stuff. I mean, so all teams do it. But so it was disappointing, but it's not a concern at all. I think it's just a derby game, first and second derby game where Chelsea were really looking to put a statement in and try and win it. I mean, they did put a statement in, but they didn't win it. We managed to actually go and get the draw and nearly get the second one and just win it late on. So there's nothing to actually be concerned about because we've got a great squad and we got a great momentum. And we did have, 2 real tough games in the same week before, but not a lot of rest and that sort of thing. So that all comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I'm hoping that you've been humbled a little bit now since last week's defeat, win against Bayern Munich. You're on cloud 9 about that, and you talk about a treble or double, whatever nonsense.
We're not really humbled. No. I mean, I still think that I still think that we can go and do it. But look, even if you're firing on all cylinders, the season is long. There's so many games in the league, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, and you get some weeks where, last
international
week,
games,
3 games in a week, and that's a lot of sort of games to play in a week. So, so we're bound to have draws, and maybe even a loss. But I don't think that we will lose for a long while yet, still, because we have got a good defense, even when we don't have Gabriel or Saliba in. I mean, they still did do a good job. I mean, that was just 1 goal that they scored. Just 1 goal.
That Saka's pass, though, that was a world class pass. That Saka's assist. He managed to get the ball in and pass it through. For Arsenal to equalise, so it was a fantastic assist.
Let's have a quick question. About just before we get your final thoughts on this game, Dennis. What do you think about Tom? Tom mentioned something just about 10 minutes ago when he was describing the game. He says Arsenal and Bayern Munich are the best 2 teams in the world currently. What would you say about that, considering Arsenal are the champions of England and PSG champions of Europe? Surely,
I mean, the world is a pretty big place, Craig. Just to tell you, planet Earth is huge.
I mean, I said Europe.
To say Arsenal's team in the world would be it's slightly delusional, to say the least. But would they say they're the best team in England at the moment? Right now, I would say yes. I think Arsenal is probably the best team and has the best chance of clinching the Premier League trophy. Would I say the same thing about in Champions League? Even the show they beat Bayern Munich, they can be. I think looking back last season when Arsenal played, they managed to get through to the quarterfinals. Before was it quarterfinals or it might be semi-finals when he got knocked out. So they might have a good chance on getting to semi-finals again. But would I say, would they make it to the final Champions League? 50-50 on that one, Craig. We'll see how they do well against.
I love how you both feel going, whoa, not the world, Europe. I want to know who's better outside of Europe as a team. And I mean, you two seem to feel. I feel like, do you both feel like the best team in the world isn't from Europe? Do you think they're from America or?
I mean, there's not many football teams that are world class. I think.
I mean,
I just suggest. I mean,
think
you're
for
both
me,
acting as
if you say the
if I've
best
just
team in the
asked you
world
what.
would be PSG or Barcelona. You know,
Exactly in Europe. Just thought I'd let you know before you both start.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Chinese league looks like. They might have a
just to humble you both back because. So moving on to Liverpool, unless you've got anything more to say about Arsenal, any of you?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
I think Arsenal's cracking. It's crumbling. It starts to crack.
Oh, the crack.
Not at all.
I'm joking.
Not at all.
Don't get to start crying now. Not on the podcast.
So we're going to obviously move on to Liverpool because they are a featured team in this podcast, believe it or not. West Ham, they went to West Ham. West Ham were having a great season. So although Liverpool should have gone into this game needing to win and should be winning, I think there was a little bit of will they win after recent results. Obviously, Liverpool have ended a long run, a dreadful run of losses. Isak got his first Premier League goal. Gakpo, who's had a strange season, seemed to link up well with Isak as well. Dennis, I want to start with you because obviously it would only be fair to give the Liverpool fan a proper rundown of the game, how you feel it went. Was there any negatives or was it all positive for slotting up Liverpool?
I would say there's more like 50-50. I want to just talk about it for 5 minutes of them. And because I want to get Tom's opinion and your opinion, if you did watch the game, didn't you? Because we had a lot of argument with Tom yesterday before Isak scored. He called him something, but we'll tell about that. Yeah, it's an away game, you know. Liverpool, away games are always tricky. You know, it's not a guaranteed win, but it was against West Ham at the Olympic Park Stadium. Very
West
big
Ham,
stadium.
and where are they in the
West
table?
Ham. I think they're quite low. I don't know where they are exactly. But
Look at the 17th. Yeah, right.
the 17th now, yeah. So yeah, I think this was a massive must win for Onslaught. If he managed to lose that yesterday, he would have been sacked this morning. That was everybody's mind. I think that was his last chance to get a win. This win bought him some time. Would I say is his job safe at the minute? I don't think so. I think this is still under pressure in order to get 2-3 more wins out of the Liverpool's next few fixtures. But yeah, it was a good start. I think going into this game, Mo Salah has been dropped, the biggest name in football. Mo Salah being dropped and not starting for. This is the first time that he didn't start in 56 matches. That's quite a lot, Craig. So yeah, no surprise there after Mo Salah's form lately. Going into the game, you had Isak starting as the main guy. Florian is back into the team. You got Gakpo on the left, and you got Szoboszlai playing on the right, and you got Gravenberch and McAllister as a withholding midfield on this particular occasion. Konate start again, even though Konate's been really poor, he started again because there's no replacement for him at the minute. And Joe Gomez is back. I was happy to see him start at the right back position. I'm not too sure where Frimpong at the moment is. I don't know where he is. Maybe he's still injured, but Joe Gomez really shined in this game. He's not the best right back, but he did the job, just like Endo, the way last season Endo was covering all the defensive midfield. And Joe Gomez was that type of player yesterday, and we keep a clean sheet. Would I say was it a convincing win because we won 2-0? I would say no. I would say it was a 6.5 out of 10 performance. We still a lot of work. Still struggled how to break down defense. We would get all the possession. This is what I was watching this time. Like we would control possession. Once we get past the line or the line, they're still missing on where the ball's gonna go to. Who's gonna take the shot? Who's gonna, step it towards the goal? And there was none of that for like 30 minutes. And I was just like, we got all this possession, but they don't know what to do with the ball. It's just like, so it took a while for them to figure it out. And I think we were just very fortunate that Isak goal. Gakpo and Florence assisted to Gakpo, and Gakpo push it back in, and Isak just tapped it in. World class goal that was. It's very difficult to control that ball when it's going that fast, and just to hit it in a precise corner on the left, and how much gap that was. It was just incredible goal, and celebrated the way. Obviously, eventually we got the second goal.
He's milking it now. He's milking it.
Yeah, I think
can you just talk me through the goals in a bit more? Obviously, I'm not saying can you talk in a bit more detail, but I don't know what your thoughts were, but the Gakpo goal, the second goal, I thought that was poor defending by West Ham.
It was
very good that Gakpo was in the box to be there, but I thought West Ham were very, very poor. But the first goal, it was a great goal. But also the build-up play from Gomez's long throw to Boots, obviously doing a little bit of skill, well, not a bit of skill, but playing around the ball a little bit. Do you see any identity in those two goals and the way Slot wants to play going forward, or is it just snatch and grab?
No, I think Slot came in after, without Mo Salah in the team. I think Onslaught realized, made Florian, gave him permission to be fairly do what he wants in the midfield, which he did an incredible job, by the way. I think he was man of the match of the game. Just getting all this runs in, left and right, middle, getting those passes. He was the hard-working midfielder in that game, which eventually, he managed to push in for a goal for the first goal. Florian, man, you can tell he's such a world-class player. It's just that I'm hoping this will be the start of his, journey. The more Mo Salah sits down on the bench, I think he's more free to go on the right and left whenever he wants to, and allowing, Szoboszlai to go in and dip in as well too.
I was just about to say that. It's very much like a Coutinho type player where he wants to freedom. And Salah kind of says, no, this is my part of the pitch. You go play over there. And when you got a player who likes to play with a bit of freedom, to be told to not come to this side. I'm not saying he has been told not to come to this side. Yeah. But you can tell he doesn't go to the right with Salah's play. You can see there's a little bit of a difference.
Absolutely, yeah. When Mo Salah plays, Florian can't go on the right side because that right side is owned by Mo Salah. By Salah, every time he gets the ball, he loses it, though. That's what's been happening in the last few games. But Florian had, like you said, he was a Coutinho player at that moment, but without the goal, without the wonder goal, but unfortunately. But he did nearly score, though. It was a great save from the keeper. I think to play him more and more like that, I think he will eventually become something, hopefully something amazing. And
Slot turned around and said, I haven't dropped him because of poor form. We've had a lot of games, and that.
Yeah, you couldn't say that. You can't insult your best player. You can't insult Mo Salah like that, even though he's dropped him. But he was just being polite. I think we all know that he dropped him because he's in poor form, and I think he was just being polite. But it was questionable. One thing that I didn't like about Onslaught's tactic yesterday is we scored 1-0. I think it was 60th minute, 65 minutes, or 60th minute when we scored in Isak's goal. And then he made this change. I just couldn't believe my eyes. 69, 17 minutes, Isak comes off. The guy just scored, right? And you need a second goal in order to protect your lead. It's happened again. You need 2 goals at least. And he takes Isak off. As soon as that, 8 minutes before he scored the goal, he takes him off and put Ekitike in. And left Gakpo. I know he scored eventually again at the end, but he brought in Curtis Jones. How did he take it? Curtis Jones for, I think it might have been Florian. Yeah, Curtis Jones and Florian Vest. So the 2 players that should have been the best in the team. He took them off before 75 minutes. I was just like, what the hell are you doing, man? So that to me is questionable. There's a big question mark right there. You can't, when you need a second goal, you don't take the player just scored for you.
So
did you feel that way too when you saw that one? Did you feel that way?
We were bringing this up to Tom, weren't we, very early in the pod about Gyökeres and Arteta not carrying the amount of minutes on the pitch. You really need to settle into the Premier League, but into a team as well. And I suppose, Tom, this leads me on to you then. I mean, this is about how do you feel about, from your point of view as Liverpool on the way back, or was that West Ham? You're playing West Ham, you'd expect to win. There was a few poor defensive issues for West Ham, but also for Isak as well. I was going to bring this up, actually. It's funny Dem brought this in. It's very similar to the Okra situation where he gets yanked off after having a good start to the second half. It's a goal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do you think about that?
I actually agree.
And the game in general.
So on that one, I actually agree with Dan on that one. I think that if you score, then you have the confidence, and so it's ridiculous to actually bring them off. Like, if they play and they don't score, and then you want to rest them, fair enough. But if they've scored, then basically they've got that confidence and they want it again, And so
of course,
it's ridiculous to actually take them off. So I agree with him on that one. So I did watch the Liverpool game, but to be honest with you, I watched it until about the 65th minute, and then I actually fell asleep. And I actually fell asleep because it was just that boring that I fell asleep for the rest of the game.
No commitment
so I woke up at the end of the game. I was like, "Oh right, okay."
No commitment to this.
I need Tom to make shit like
it's finished.
It's hilarious.
But
no
I think the positive is that you got the first goal this time. I think that's always the thing in football, is that if you get the first goal, then you're much more likely to actually go ahead and win the game. Defensively, things were much better, but again, it's West Ham. Again, it's always context, isn't it? So you've won, but it's against West Ham, who were like 16th,
West Ham that beat Arsenal
15th,
last season, by the way, at home.
17th.
That allowed us to win the league. Do you remember that great when West Ham scored last minute to make it 2-1 at home against Arsenal? That would lead Liverpool to get away with all the points. It's West Ham. I love West Ham.
Yeah. So West Ham are not doing very well at all at the moment. So I think you can't sort of count your chickens. I
want to bring this up to you, Craig.
Big talking points in the game as well.
Yeah,
was the red card for.
I was going to say that.
Paqueta.
Now the irony is,
I didn't see it actually because I was asleep.
You shouldn't see it because you only watch Arsenal games and then come on a football pod. So the idea was he talked himself basically into a red card. He didn't even make a tackle. He just moaned to the referee about a tackle his teammate made. But then he kept going on and on and on. And the irony is, he's just come back from a long ban for being under a 2-year investigation for match fixing, which he was cleared of. When you watch that, you would put your money on
to get a red card.
He talked himself into getting a red card. I mean, I was going to ask you both what your thoughts on that were, but obviously let's just go.
I did find that funny.
I didn't watch it.
He's a Brazilian. Even Alisson went up to him, spoke to him in Portuguese, and said, maybe he said, "Get away from the referee, man."
But even his captain was a bit like. Even Bowen was like, "What's going on here?" Like, even he didn't
for me, I know he said everybody thinks his fix is to get a red card done on purpose, but I think that's just ego. Yes, the first yellow might have been. If he wanted to get a red card, he would have made a nasty challenge to somebody to get a first yellow. And then argue with the referee after, maybe. But just to argue twice, I think that's just his ego. Footballer happen. He's young, but one thing though, he let the West Ham fans down big time. I think it was good for Liverpool that they went to 10 men. I think we would have struggled because it was still 1-0 by the way, and they got 10 men. So that was very fortunate that I was happy I was happy to see that. As a Liverpool fan, but it was a letdown for West Ham. I don't think it was the right idea to get sending off like that. But was it fixed? I don't believe it. I don't think he did it.
Because that'd be a bit too risky. But the referee did give him a long time to calm down, and the fact that he just kept going
a very long time.
I felt like giving him a couple of bob on Sky Bet or something to to see if he gets sent off because he's just like on and on and on.
Unless there's some sort of his family taken hostage in Brazil or something, then hey, listen, you gotta get a red card. Otherwise, we'll take your family hostage. That's the only way I can think of. all the whatever.
Oh my god!
Gangsters ban him to get a red card.
So that it's fine then.
I'm hoping there's a lot of betting websites that have been lost money out of that. I'm hoping they paid them out. Because I hate betting websites. They ruin people's lives.
Just the casino you're a fan of.
Just the casino, yeah, absolutely. Before we move on, I just want to mention this, right? So Liverpool winning yesterday, 3 points. We are now sitting number 8 on the league table with 21 points behind Manchester United, Sunderland, and Brighton. Brighton beat Crystal Palace 2-1 as well. Very good. Here's the weird part. Liverpool's form has been falling for the last 3-4 weeks. We just need one win. We're back at the top 4. How crazy is that?
I think
one win from Liverpool this week on Wednesday. If you beat Sunderland, we go up back top 5 or top 4 of the table. Isn't that crazy? If Arsenal loses,
it all depends on if the other teams win. You tit, doesn't it?
That is the trend, yeah. But at the same time, what I'm saying, we're not that far off. Like it's so close. If Arsenal loses, that means we're only 5 points behind you.
Hey, let me tell you something, Tom. If Arsenal win and Liverpool win, guess what? There's still 9 points behind.
yeah. Cheers, Dan, for that comment. Yeah, nice.
I mean, like, what I'm saying is you are getting ahead of time that, you're going to run this season and win the league, even though you lost one, drew twice. And you're only like, how many points behind Chelsea?
It's not only about the points, though, is it, Dan? Because it isn't just about the point, but it's about the context. It's about
it is 5 points.
It's about the position. It's about more than just the points, though, isn't it? Because it's about
it is points, Tom.
What do you realistically think is going to happen when Arsenal are doing so well? The most likelihood is that we will keep on doing very well, and Liverpool will keep on doing not so well because they haven't done very well. And you played West Ham, who were pretty much bottom of the table.
Well, Liverpool's already lost the league, I don't know what you're on about. Huh? You should be worried about Chelsea and Man City chasing 5 points behind. So those are the teams that you need worrying about. So it's not guaranteed that Arsenal's going to win the league. Yes,
I'm not worried about it, am I?
Oh, you should be. I
must admit. I do. It says quite the fact all this disrespect that Liverpool get. Right?
Disrespect.
It is scary that the fact they are the champions still, and I don't know. Teams just seem to be thinking like.
Well, I think it's how they've gone from being that to being so shocking.
They haven't gone from
context. Like you said, context.
We're only 3 months. We're only 3 months into the season. You're acting as if we're Man United, and it's eight years down the line. I mean, you're going to let yourself a little bit too excited. And as an Arsenal fan, you should know that it takes a long time to get yourself excited about things.
Yeah, 6 years, Tom, to get into this level of the Arteta's team. 1.5 billion pounds later. Oh no!
Yeah, well, you've gone
Man City. 5 points ahead of Man City. 1.5 billion pounds later.
Oh dear.
Okay.
20 years without winning anything. So there you go.
Well, that's wrong because they won. They didn't just win nothing. They went 30 years without winning the league. Yeah.
The Premier League.
Yeah. Okay.
Twice. The Premier League in 5 years, and Arteta won FA Cup in 6 years. So, context, Tom. Context.
I think people forget, Dan, that Liverpool won the treble, didn't they? In 2001.
Yeah. I mean, if James was here, he would shout "Invincible, blah blah blah."
Well, yeah. I mean, there's history, but I think we should focus on the current form.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah. I don't think we should mention anything beyond 26 months.
History.
history is good, but I think we should keep it from 2015 now onwards.
Well, we should keep it from this season onwards. I mean, that's what I was saying. Is this current form is like what's actually happening in the present, and not focusing on how good you were like 30 years ago.
I want to ask you, by the way, Craig and Tom. I've heard this on Steven Gerrard's podcast. I think he was on a podcast once, or might be on Sky Sports. Steven Gerrard was asked, would he been a Steven Gerrard if he played today, with all these rules with VAR and the way the league is going? Like, somebody can be soft. And I think Steven Gerrard said, I don't think he would have made it as good if he played today. It's because it's the way his style. Back in the days, he would just, take down people. It went soft then. It's real battle. If you get kicked, you get up. That was the game. And you carry on.
I totally agree. It's players like Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, Cloud Makalele, all those players.
Like real men.
All those players were,
I do miss them.
That's why I think it's gone so far with like this refereeing. Like, it's gone from being pretty much rugby.
Yeah.
To like being ballet.
Ballet, yeah, that's true. I agree with that, Tom. I feel like you should change the rule. The only way that you can check with VAR, you should limit on what you can check with VAR. Offside, any sort of handballs, any strong tackle that look like maybe a sending off. Anything like that. And the rest, let the referee. Like, what's the point of having a referee then when you just change this? VAR will change their decision and overrule the referee. It's weird, but unfortunately, it's here to stay. So we'll have to deal with it. Yeah.
That's it.
Can we look on to the other games now? We had Man United and Palace, and we also had Man City and Leeds. Before I move on, before I start talking about those games, did any of you see those games or any highlights of those games?
I watched a little bit of the Man City and who did they play again? God, my mind. Leeds
played quite good, trying to come back, and obviously
Leeds played pretty well. Yeah.
And I think Leeds.
I think it was Calvert-Lewin basically scored and pretty much nearly got them back into it. Yeah.
I don't think Leeds have got a great chance of staying up this season unless they start getting consistent. But again, Man City, I mean, they showed resilience to come back and get that fit. That win the game 3-2. But again, it's like you should be beating teams like this, and it just doesn't affect the team, does it?
Do you think Man City will ever get back to the way they were playing?
Definitely.
Because you seem you've found all this players.
It's a young team he's got, Dan. It's a young team. I on FIFA on a career mode to like build up to becoming better players.
You think Pep's time should, it's been there for what, 10 years now, 9 years, or it might be longer. Do you think he should consider moving on in the next, maybe this season, maybe in the next season? Just give someone else a chance to manage Man City.
I think Pep wants to get it back. No, Pep's the sort of character who really wants to
prove everyone wrong,
sort of get up and challenge and prove them wrong. So, like, I think he'll stay and try and get them really, really good again. But just speaking about that sort of lack of consistency. So that's exactly what I mean about the context, about why I think that in this position, Arsenal are much more likely to win than any other team, because they're the team who'd be much more consistently winning and games. So all the other teams have moments where they're excellent, like on fire, amazing. But then they play games against teams that they should be winning very comfortably against, and then it's 3-2, which which is not a comfortable victory, is it?
I've got
So that's
prediction.
why I think that, and that's why everyone's saying that it's much more likely that Arsenal, because they've got consistency, they've got a good squad. When they're injured, they like got backups. So
they're consistent bottlers.
oh,
5 years,
dear,
4 years,
goodness
4 years
sake.
in a row, consistent second place. I'm joking. I mean, it's funny.
I think Tom's better on it a midweek game, don't you think? Then
no one's laughing.
He gets a bit too serious on these.
Yeah. We'll have it. We'll have Tom. So we got 5 minutes, maybe 5-8 minutes. So another fixtures on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. See who's playing.
Arsenal playing Brentford.
Brentford,
which is, and that's the other thing, which is totally true as well, that Arsenal have like about 3, 4, 5 derby teams, because there's Brentford, there's Tottenham Hotspurs, there's Chelsea.
It's not a derby. It's not a real derby.
I think it's too easy to say because the teams from our area, it's a derby. Yeah. A derby is of a match. Not yes, it is from the area, but a proper derby.
So then,
tension against other teams. So like Liverpool.
So then, would you not say that the game against Chelsea was like a derby? Then
I'd say it's a derby, yeah, but I wouldn't say Brentford versus Arsenal is a derby.
Yeah,
Man United versus Leeds is a derby.
Yeah, well, they're
Liverpool
pretty much the
versus
same
Man United
distance,
is a
I think,
derby.
in like terms of distance. I think they're fairly similar.
I think your derby is more of us.
It doesn't matter.
I think Spurs is more your enemy.
Into that game thinking, it's a derby, so we're going to play hard. They're going to go into the game wanting to win points.
So
no.
Wait.
No.
I do a lot of banter.
There are definitely some teams where like players play much
bollocks. You're talking at your arse. Talking at your arse.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to say something now. I've bantered over this past couple weekend. To be fair, I do think Arsenal are the team to beat. I do play a little banter because it's getting really. For some reason, when Arsenal at the top, the fans get even more bloody fickle and snowflakey. But what I will say is to turn around and say Brentford versus Arsenal at derby. I mean, Arsenal fans will come up with any excuse to be bloody.
And I tell you what, though, Brentford's going to win that game, Craig. And I'll give you 2 reasons.
I hope they win now.
I'll give you 2 reasons.
Well, they won't.
Tom, I'll give you 2 reasons why you're either going to get a draw or lose to Brentford. 2 reasons.
Why is that then? Yeah.
Look at his fingers. Jordan Henderson, Kelleher. 2 reasons. Henderson and Kelleher. They will be on form on Wednesday night to take down Arsenal. Trust me.
Okay, then.
Obviously, Sunderland go into the game of Liverpool's favourites.
So, I mean, Sunderland is the favourites, I think.
Has Liverpool got a chance then? I mean, has Liverpool got a chance? They're clearly the underdogs.
No, we are underdogs. I think I've got a feeling Mo Salah will come back into the team now.
I do as well. I think he'll bottle it. I think Slot will bottle it.
It will have the same either.
I agree with Tom with this. I think he'll bottle it.
I think it would be a mistake not to play Florian again. Coming off from the form that he did on Sunday, if he doesn't play again, either McAllister. You can't drop McAllister is there for defense unless you drop Gravenberch for Mo Salah, and then that's the only way I could think of. But if you drop Florian for Mo Salah, and most likely it's going to be a struggle. I mean, Gravenberch, I know he's been a top player last season, but he's not been on form. The only time that he looked good so far was against Everton when he scored those goals. But lately, he's not been playing well. Unless you put in McAllister and Szoboszlai on midfield, Florian and Mo Salah on the right, and Isak up front and Gakpo on the left. If he takes Florian off, put Mo Salah back in, it's risky. It's risky. I think the defense still be the same. Konate, Gomez on the side. Kerkes will start. But the midfield it's 50-50 on me on that one.
You surprised he hasn't tried Gravenberch in Canate's position? Because he's quite a good defensive player.
He won't be able to do that.
Considering how bad Canate is, because I saw Carragher on CBS watching Canate's howler against PSV, and he said it's the manager's fault to keep picking him. And I did think to myself, who else are you going to pick? But then I've also seen the argument online. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm also not saying I disagree with it. I want to get your thoughts first. Because he had such a good season last year in that defensive role, are you surprised he hasn't thought what could go wrong putting Gravenberch there? How much money can play with the ball?
He sees
Gravenberch been so bad.
He sees Gravenberch to be able to hold the midfield and get the ball passed through. He's not going to change his position, I don't think. But it's I'm more worried about Mo Salah coming on and Florian to be dropped again. That's what my main concern is. Unless you drop Gravenberch, you cannot drop Szoboszlai on whatever game you play going forward. You cannot drop him unless McAllister will get dropped and Gravenberch start and Florian start. But if it's very difficult. I think for me, I can see McAllister might be on the bench if Mo Salah comes back. But if you drop Florian, then I don't know.
Can I ask, Tom, before we move on to Player of the Week and Howler of the Week, can I just ask your thoughts against Brentford? Obviously, no piss taking now. Just your thoughts for Arsenal versus Brentford. How do you think the game's going to go? And what can you see happening in that game? And anything Arsenal should be worried about? Or that's fantastic analysis. This is why we game on each week.
Jordan Henderson.
Game on each week.
Don't think there's any concerns. I think we'll just go and do our stuff and get another win.
Smashed him, man. Brentford, come on, let's go.
Can I just ask? Why do you act like it's? I'm asking you like a really hard question. I'm just trying to. These are questions you ask. I just want to know if you must think to yourself. Do you think you're gonna blow? Do you think you're going to blow him up? No, you don't. You stood there saying, "Yeah, I've got no concerns." Like, do you think it's going to be a big scoreline? Do you think Brentford are going to get a couple of goals? Do you think Arsenal might switch the team up a little bit? Come on, think creative. I don't know.
I think we'll get a clean sheet, and I think we'll win comfortably.
Bloody hell! Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dennis, Player of the Week, mate.
Player of the Week.
What else would you fucking say? Like fucking. What else would you say?
All right, my player of the week is Florian Wirtz.
What is going on here?
What do you mean? What's going on? I'm asking you a question on a football podcast about how you think the game's going to go, prediction-wise, and instead of just telling us what you think the game. Yeah,
I said a clean sheet and like comfortable win.
That's just fair.
I had to get them out of you though. Anyway, Florian Wirtz for Player of the Week, then. And what about your Howler of the Week?
Howler of the Week. It's a good question, Craig. I would say.
Wait a minute. So you put Wirtz above Isak, even though you like sent me the goal like about 4 times afterwards.
I mean, Florian was outstanding, man. It looked like a new school Coutinho.
Goal of the season.
Goal of the season, contender that Isak goal. No, joking aside, Florian had a better game than Isak. I know. Isak still got a long way to go, but Florian was the best player of the week, I think. Howler of the week, I would say Arsenal's defense. Cracking, letting a goal in.
I love Dennis's Howlers of the week. You know, I love him. I love Dennis's Howlers of the week.
Set piece. Finally tasted their own medicine on that one. Chelsea fed them the medicine that they've been, getting away with it all season.
In terms of the set pieces scored this season, I think Chelsea had scored 1 less than Arsenal in the whole season. So it's hardly surprising that basically they scored from a set piece because they also as you put it, set piece FC.
Cold bomb.
What about you, Craig?
If you're taking on the stats,
Tom, player of the week and Howler of the week.
Unless he wants to participate in this one.
Well, the howler of the week will be Calcedo for sure,
Yeah.
because there's absolutely no question about that. And the player of the week,
Isak.
I'll put Marino, because he got us back 1-1.
Not because he looks like Marino. You just need a lot. You should need to thicker eyebrows, Tom, and then you're Marino. and you must speak Espanol instead of French.
Yeah, but I also need to have a beard, and I don't have a beard, do I? So
No, not yet.
So I'm gonna go with the howl. I'm gonna start with the howler. I think it's Lucas Paqueta for West Ham.
oh yeah.
I mean, he's let his team down. He's let himself down. And most importantly, let the fans down. So he's definitely the howler. The player of the week, I want to go Foden for that last minute goal against a tough fight back for Leeds. Foden's last,
Good choice.
last contribution to the team. I thought when I watched that game, Leeds did give Man City a game, and to get the win, I thought going to pick him as player of the week. Yeah.
Good choice, Craig. I think Foden was incredible. I'm a bit annoyed of Erling Haaland for not scoring a goal, because I put him the triple captain on my fantasy league, and I know a lot of people did the same thing, thinking, "Oh, it's Leeds, he might walk in with a hat trick here." Triple captain, and he got fucking 2 points. A lot of shite. Unreal. Well, I will stop the recording. Just give me a minute.
Wait. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again and persisting with us.
We're hoping we'll have more guests in the coming weeks.
We'll have more guests, and if anybody is watching this and wants to contribute, feel free to come on. Even
like, subscribe, and message us on the
subscribe messages. And even if you're a fan of a Farmers League, like the Scottish League, get yourself on here. We want to talk about how
and
bad
it doesn't
your league
matter
is.
where you're from as well. You can be anybody around the world. Come join us in teams. We'll welcome every single body. Just comment on our YouTube comments or TikTok, say you want to be on the podcast, and we'll give you the code, and you can jump straight in.
And we'll get, obviously, Tom's eager to say something as well, as you can see. Tom, what kind of shrug have you got for us now when I say, have you got anything to say? Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers.
Bye-bye.